Welcome, friends, to Reality Test. What is reality testing, you may ask? Well, it's something we all do every day, maybe with our loved ones over dinner, with coworkers at the water cooler, etc., when we check our subjective or personal emotions, thoughts, and so forth against objective or sort of more agreed upon fact-based reality. Although, because Dr. Ray and I, Dr. Kay, are social constructionists, we don't actually believe there's one true objective reality, but rather our own personal versions of it constructed in the context of relationships. But you get the idea. So here in Reality Test, we're going to be testing the castmate realities and the producer antics of our favorite reality TV shows against what we know as licensed psychologists about the reality out here, off of our TVs. We hope you'll join us as we attempt to reality test. That's it. Thanks, y'all. Now check out our campy theme song.
Are you feeling stressed? Your head's all messed? Well, let's forget all the rest. Fuck it, we're blessed, cause it's time to talk reality test. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. Kay. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like. We're doing award shows today. The awards are getting handed out.
Yes, we've got many awards to hand out. It's October. It's getting chilly. And some of these people on these shows are a little chilly, too. They got to be a little warmer to their fellow castmates.
Yes,
I try.
Nice analogy. I like it. It is notably chillier, though. That is a very, what's the word, like timely thing to say, because it is effing chilly. It smells like fall.
It smells like fall, and that joke smells like my dog's poop. But we're doing our best. I should not quit my day job because the comedy career is not working right now.
The similes and analogies are
really something right now. But I seem to be committed to the bit, so I guess we'll see where this leads us.
Follow through. Okay, we'll cut most of that. That's totally fine. We got there.
Maybe keep one of them, but the rest.
Yeah, we'll keep a little bit. I'll keep a touch,
maybe
a smattering.
Maybe a touch, not. We'll see. Oh God. But anyway, we're doing our award show. It's fall.
Yes.
I just did a really weird attempt at a joke, that analogy, simile, metaphor. I'm not really sure, but I think we're going to cut it because it was painful for everyone involved.
We might keep some of it. Like you said, we'll keep a little. We'll keep a touch. We'll cut some more of it. We'll just see what happens. See what makes it in. What we'll make it in the final cut. Nobody knows. We have our normal structure as well today, which means first I will start by saying we're therapists, but not your therapists. And not the therapists are the folks that we talk about today in our words examples, and therefore we don't know their diagnoses if they have any, but we might talk about diagnoses sort of in an adjacent manner because we don't know for sure without fully assessing them. But before we do that, we'll do our check-ins. So what is on your heart and mind today, dear Dr. Ray?
I am going to New York tomorrow for a queer film festival, and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm glad it's cooled down. It was too hot. Also, this was weird, but someone did a manhole in front of my house today. I didn't even know what a manhole was, but apparently it's just a hole that a man can fit in. So already sexist, already out. But like, no one told me this manhole was happening. And they were like, I think every person in the town I live in who does construction was working on this manhole.
Wow.
There was a big fucking diggy thing, whatever that's called. There was like drills. There was, everything was there. And I was like, this is a really intense construction project. And,
that is wild. I've never heard of someone doing a manhole. That is so funny. I mean, they should call it a person hole. I've never heard of someone doing a person hole, but that makes sense. They just like literally did one. They made one from scratch, from the earth below your feet.
Truly. And they cut into my driveway. And I felt crotchety. I was like, so you're gonna put that back.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll take some fresh new paving if you'd like.
Yeah, you could even do the rest if you want to, but no pressure. But no, that didn't happen. And they did cover their work. But it was a really intense. I'm like, what's the goal here? You got some manhole-y things that need to happen in my driveway? Like, what are we doing? I still don't know. But
yeah, they're like trying to get down to the sewer up there.
Maybe they're like building an underground society, like in those comics.
That sounds more exciting. Yeah. That'd be a good use for a person hole.
Maybe if things keep getting weird, like maybe I'll be down there before I know it.
We'll be recording from the underground.
It'll be a Dr. Ray hole. Nope. 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 Oh, it's getting worse. It's just getting worse every time.
It's just he's going.
Let's see how far. Yes. Y'all, we are in the gutter, but not even a good gutter. Like it's painful for everyone. But here we are. But that's my update. New York City and manholes is what I've got going on.
I love it. Yeah, that seems like an important area for activism too. So person holes, New York and person holes.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for it.
Very exciting. Very exciting trip ahead. And always love New York. Mm-hmm. Very cool. And also good timing to go to New York. I love being in New York during the fall weather. It's actually so fun. And so crispy, a good time for like a cute trench coat or something.
Yay. Can't wait.
Pea coat.
Yes.
Fabulous. My check-in is that, well, actually, because it's on my wall, I'll share with you my new, my finished embroidery work that I told you I would show you when I was done with it. Ready for this? Now y'all have to watch the video to see too, otherwise you're just going to hear about it. But I don't know if this will come out backwards or not. But
wait, okay. I love it.
Right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is
put it
really
inside
good.
a clock face. Thank you.
So good. Like,
thank you so much.
Wow, the message kills. The colors amazing. No notes.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My feminist messaging, and I also made the mountain colors based on a drawing. I think I might have said this the first time I brought this up, but the drawing that my niece made me. So it was fun, kind of being inspired. It was my first ever embroidery go free-handed. I've only ever done one other one, but the other one I did was like in a kit, so they like had the drawing on there for you that you just fill in. So this one I just went from scratch, and I like it a lot better than the other one I did, so I'm excited about it.
I think it's beautiful. I love it. You might have so much like business in store. Like I'd buy a Be a Cunt clock any day of the week.
Right? I know, because this clock doesn't work, so I was like, I'll repurpose it. The main thing is it's round. Like, what the fuck do you do with a round piece of art like that? Like, in like fabric art, I don't want to make a pillow that's tiny. It would be like a tiny pillow, you know? So I was like, I don't know. I don't want to make a pot holder. So I was like, I'll just make it wall art. And then when I was like, it's going to be wall art, I was like, I don't have any round frames. And I was like, I have a clock that's broken.
And that works perfectly as a frame.
It sure does.
Brilliant. Bloody brilliant.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my brother and I were talking about it, and I said, okay, I need a good feminist phrase for this. And he was like, how about don't be a cunt? And I was like, scratch that, reverse it. And we got ourselves a feminist statement. Done.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, did I miss the don't? And then I was, no. Mm-hmm. I love it.
No don'ts. Always, always be as cunty as you need to.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Situation calls for.
Exactly. Sometimes it's the only way to get through shit, and I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. Advocate. Self-advocating. Mm-hmm. Self-advocating.
Yes. I love it. TM.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, I actually am so loving that right now. New messaging that I shall give people. Mm-hmm. Which actually brings me, because I was going to say I'll tell my clients that, which will bring me also to our next section. So I say we hurl our bodies right into it, which is the reality check section, whereby we talk about studies that are in the world that we think are relevant in some way, maybe not, but something that we think would be helpful for us all to be thinking about as listeners or co-hosts of this very fine podcast here. So what do you have for us, Dr. Ray, as your study for this week?
Yes. So this study was in the clinics in dermatology. It's called Psychology of Aesthetics, Beauty, Social Media, and Body Dysmorphic Disorder. And it's one of those kind of no-does, but sometimes you have to do no-duh research to prove what seems intuitively obvious.
I like it.
So this talks about studies showing, I think it's like a systematic review. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, studies showing that frequent social media use may lead to unrealistic body image ideals, significant concern with appearance and anxiety. Also, social media exposure can worsen body image dissatisfaction, addiction to social networking sites, as they're called, and comorbidities with body dysmorphic disorder, including eating disorders. And excessive social media use can increase preoccupation imagined image deficits, and leading them to pursue more minimally invasive cosmetic and plastic surgery procedures. So both those that are less invasive and those that are a little more invasive. So it's all kind of no duh, but it seems like social media use is not good for one's mental health, anxiety levels. And if you are predisposed to kind of some body dissatisfaction, social media may exacerbate that and also make you want to watch social media more, and then maybe make you pursue more plastic surgery, which kind of makes sense with a lot of these influencers who are also reality TV contestants, because that's their life and business is social media, right? So of course they're more apt to pursue plastic surgery. It's a part of their job. And unfortunately these days it almost seems like it's part of the gig, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. And I can imagine they even like get free, work to then promote it.
Yeah. And no shame in the game. Like, I think whatever you want to do to your body is your choice. And if your choice is being influenced too much by a standard that's making you unhappy, and as you've mentioned previously, Dr. Kay, people with body dysmorphic disorder, they may get surgeries and still be unhappy with the way they look. So it kind of is building upon itself. That's kind of less helpful, like getting more and more and more surgeries kind of thing.
Yeah. Or even worse, because body dysmorphia is a type of OCD. So that in particular, right, is like an obsessiveness and then a compulsiveness or a compulsion to keep trying over and over again and not get a better result. But even more than that, everybody, regardless of their clinical or not picture, if we try to go for having the perfect face, like if our goal is to have the perfect face or have a dream job, then we're going to be less happy with it than if that hadn't been our goal to begin with. So just having it as a goal is a negative thing, regardless of your mental health. It's so sad. It's good to know. But then also, it means that when your view is on social media in your study, if your view is that you're seeing somebody with what you see as the perfect face, and then that becomes a goal because you're seeing it on social media, then you will not actually be happy with that goal, even if you reach it.
You will still continue to have issues. And that's the thing with any sort of obsessive compulsive thing. It tends to exacerbate and get worse and worse. Your desire for control or to feel relief can make you continuing to pursue the thing, and you never kind of, or the capacity of the compulsion that's needed to get that relief increases. So kind of similar with body dysmorphic disorder, but kind of different maybe too.
Yeah. The presence of the OCD piece or body dysmorphia would amplify it so much more, because then it's like the constant focus, and like you said, then becomes iterative or like compounded.
Totally.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer.
I also remember, wasn't there like a study that showed that social media was also like increasing narcissism? Do you remember that? That was like an early days study.
Makes it. Also makes intuitive sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was some sort of counter to it. Like, I don't remember what that was either. The original one came out like right away when social media started. And it was like, this new generation is more narcissistic than any other one. And like, not surprising because they're also growing up on social media. And then they connected it to social media. And then there was another study, and I can't remember if it was like just tackling narcissism among that generation. Like they were like, oh wait, the iGen is not that much more narcissistic or something like that. Or if it was that social media isn't always increasing it. But maybe that is something I will look into for a future study, because I can't remember what, but something came out sort of counter to that. But the original view, and I think still stands, is that there is an increase in narcissism amongst people, perhaps like even healthy narcissism, because you are forced to narrate yourself or like talk about what your image is, or like increase your image, or talk about yourself like what you had for dinner or whatever. So like you see yourself as an external being, or as a self-sustaining being. And just by seeing yourself that way, you're more likely to want to survive. So that's not a bad thing, perhaps.
It's adaptive. And
it's
helpful
adaptive
in some ways, probably less helpful in others.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is where we land on with that study, which is very unhelpful. Yeah. In a loop. There's a lot of studies about that. Not studies, examples, case examples, if you will, about people who get addicted to facial plastic surgery and then end up in just like a very, like, honestly kind of scary place. Like, so definitely the most extreme versions of that too are very startling. Scary.
Yes. There's these two twins online who have had, I saw like some sort of something, but they've had so much plastic surgery and they don't look human, really. It's kind of it's kind of, I mean, not to like shame their appearance, and it's just they no longer quite look like human people. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's scary. It's like, it reminds me of sort of the difference also between like runway fashion and like fashion, what's fashionable for anybody to wear. It's sort of like there's a difference between the type of plastic surgery that like anybody off the street or normal, quote unquote normal, like someone who's not in the public eye might get. And then there's the version of plastic surgery that's like much more extreme. That is the like people who are influencers, or in thinking about the twins, right? Like where that became part of their image was that they were like plastic surgery queens. That then it becomes the much more extreme version that looks just sort of surreal or like alien, just like fashion on the runway often does.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Or like that show Botched. I could never eat during that show on E. I would always get like sick to my I would like get a snack, and then I'd be like, nope, no snack. This is the human body being opened up. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, that one's not for me. Did you ever see the show Nip Tuck?
I did not. That was pre-botched, I really liked it. Right?
Yes, it was pre-botched. And it was, and it's completely fake or whatever. Who is it? It's somebody who's like, it's like Ryan Murphy or something. It's somebody who like, it's like big name. And then it was like one of their early shows and then whatever. And it was like really good, actually. I liked it a lot. I watched it a lot in high school, but I can't even remember what show. It was like maybe even HBO or something. It was one of those channels that like doesn't, Showtime or something. It doesn't have a lot of. Cool. Now I'm curious about who it was. I feel like if I say Ryan Murphy, then I'm almost positive, actually. I feel like I'm going to be really excited when I find out that I was right about it being Ryan Murphy. That's my decision right now. I'm going to just believe in myself. Ryan Murphy. Okay. Did not need to be as excited by that, even though I even called it. I was like, I'm going to be excited. And I was still just as excited.
Yeah, self-knowledge is a beautiful thing.
Exactly. Self-compassion about my knowledge. Okay. Anyway, fabulous. Great example of a study. Love that. I have a technical issue. What the fuck? Okay. Wow. Yeah, I did this like picture-in-picture thing. I'll mark that because that's irrelevant. Yeep. Okay. So my study is one recommended by my client, the client with whom I work, who listens to our podcast. So they specifically suggested it for this very segment and relates to something that is relational in content, just like you and I are relationship folks, relationship focused, because we're not relationship therapists, because we don't only work on relationships. We're not couples therapists, but we are relational in the way that we give therapy, which also means we believe in growth fostering relationships being an important part of life. In fact, the most healing. So one of the things that is really neat is thinking about the intersection of sleepiness, and relationship quality. So one of the things that you might have found, right, like there's this sort of stigma around if you're yawning with somebody, then like you're bored. And so like, therefore, if you're like with somebody that's your romantic partner and you're yawning, but like you're around friends and then they're like excited and like upbeat and that must mean that they're like bored with their romantic relationship and much prefer having friendships and so forth, new friendships and so forth. But the truth is, when you are in a romantic relationship, you also have higher levels of oxytocin. That's also known as the cuddle hormone, and what we do when we are bonding in a pair. So literally when you cuddle, we release oxytocin. Same thing with little babies. We cuddle a baby, we release oxytocin. But the cool thing about romantic relationships is just being in the presence of your romantic partner also releases oxytocin. So you don't have to be cuddling specifically. What we now know is that oxytocin also has a positive impact on sleep. And so having more oxytocin also means you're more likely to fall asleep quickly and you rest more efficiently. So you have an increase in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. Therefore, the love hormone, which is often released during sexual activity, particularly during orgasm, but is also released just in the presence of a romantic partner to whom you are closely attached or strongly attached, is also one that helps with reduced sleep latency, finding it easier to fall asleep. This study was in the Sleep Science Journal in 2022. The author's name I cannot pronounce, so I'm going to give you the spelling instead. SELC with the accent that goes under it, and then UK. And they talk about how high-quality sleep, or what we call restorative sleep, requires a relaxed state, and we're more likely to be in a relaxed state if we are around a partner with whom we feel safe. So the other thing that's related to this is it's not just a relationship. It's when that relationship is a particularly strong relationship, and you know it's particularly strong, and what actually seems to be the specific factor is the perceived partner responsiveness. So the extent to which you think that your partner understands, appreciates, and truly cares for you is therefore a critical predictor of sleep quality.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Isn't that really sweet? And so like the other interacting feature is how it relates to the stress hormone called cortisol. So obviously, cortisol being released when you're under stress, that's a byproduct. It means that, you've been increased amount of stress if your cortisol is increased because your body tried to react to it. So the idea that you have a higher cortisol level, the interplay between oxytocin and cortisol would therefore affect our sleep quality. Increased cortisol in response to stress because it's getting your body amped to respond to something that's stressful. So the idea is that oxytocin can reduce your reactivity to stress and therefore your cortisol level. If you have reduced cortisol and therefore you are feeling less stressed in your body, then you will also sleep better. What do you know? So therefore that is exactly coming back to that point about how a relaxed state will also make you sleep more efficiently and effectively. So with all of that in mind, let me see if there's any other thing. Oh, the last point I wanted to just make is that just because you have less sleep doesn't mean your relationship is not a good one. And just because you have sleepiness around your partner does not mean that your relationship is a good one. So like it doesn't, even though it could mean that there could be a relationship between your oxytocin and your sleep because your relationship is stable, it's not the only factor. Of course, we know there's like hundreds of factors that affect our sleep. So that doesn't actually tell you for sure. It's a correlation, not a causation situation. But just to say that sometimes if your partner is yawning and feels much more comfortable around you, that might not be a bad thing. It reminds me when I was first connecting with my now husband, there was one day where just like, I don't even remember, it wasn't even that stressful of a day, but I ended up just falling asleep on his shoulder. One of the first days that we were just like spending time together watching TV, I fell asleep and he just like loved it. He was like, oh my gosh, she fell asleep on my shoulder and it was just the sweetest thing. And I sort of was like, so? Like I was like, okay. But he was like, you were so comfortable with me that you just like felt like you could fall asleep and felt safe. And I was like, you're right, that is kind of cute. So it's just really, you're right, I did feel safe. So this kind of comes back to that too, apparently. Just being on his shoulder, released oxytocin, made him feel safe enough at a relaxed state to be able to sleep efficiently. And it then put him in a position where he's like, I didn't want to move because I didn't want to wake you up. But then I was like, just stuck there, my shoulder hurt. I was like, you went through pain just to let me sleep. That's very sweet. We can get married now.
Yes, let us marry now. Oh, yes. That sounds like a really adorable moment of connection.
It was really sweet. It's so true with babies too, right? Like we're just so, it's like if we think about how there's some babies that won't fall asleep unless you're holding them in your arms.
Mm-hmm. They need that little connection. Mm-hmm. I love this too. Next time I'm yawning when someone's talking, I'll be like, it just means I feel comfortable with you, according to science.
Relaxed state.
Yeah. So actually this is a good thing right now. So please do not be offended.
Yeah. Actually, you're welcome.
Actually, you're welcome. This is a huge compliment. You should be honored.
Exactly.
Talk is cheap, but look at what I'm doing. This means I'm very comfortable with you. I love this. I'm gonna reframe the shit out of my embarrassing yawns at times. So
it's so true. Like as therapists, obviously, no one wants their therapist to yawn because we don't want them to feel like we're boring them. But maybe it's also low-key showing that they feel comfortable with you as a therapist. I mean, ideally they're not yawning excessively, but it could be just that they're feeling like, good, this is like our normal back and forth. I'm feeling good with you. I mean, we have to get good at like negating a yawn as it comes.
It's so hard. It's like,
yeah.
And then I do this with my face, which isn't great, but it's like, that's not empathic, but it's, I don't know what else to do.
You're not like mirroring per se in that moment.
No, I'm like,
how funny would it be if like a client mirrored you doing that? Like
that would be
subconsciously because we mirror. Yeah, they're like,
That would be an amazing call out of what's happening.
You'd be like, shit, my face is doing that.
Like, what? Are you shocked by what I'm saying? No. Maybe it's better to just yawn. We'll see. Maybe I'll play around with it.
Look around a little bit. Tell your client first, like maybe during informed consent. Like if there's ever yawning, it's because I feel comfortable, and that means that we have a good back and forth where our relationship is going strongly. So that's a good thing. And then look out for yawning. I genuinely
think that's true. Like I think that is the case, indeed.
Me too. When I'm stressed out about somebody, I'm not going to be anywhere near tired, right? My eyes are going to be like bugged out. If a client's stressing us out because either I'm worried for their sake or we're brand new working together, right? There's no way I'd be yawning in that context. So
yeah. were kind of, but yes, a huge compliment.
Exactly. So don't worry, Dr. A, you're welcome to yawn during tonight's festivities, especially because it is a later evening yet again, and it is dark out because it is in our way towards the winter we head, and also because we're doing awards tonight. So we have some, shows that we talk about that the other person hasn't seen. So who knows? Maybe that, you might find some of what I'm sharing to be boring because you don't relate to it, or you're going to be like, I'm just so comfortable with you, so that's how I'm going to remember it. You're not bored by it. You don't not know my content. You're just excited and yet you're not excited, the opposite. You're so relaxed state with me.
That I'm just comfortable. Actually, as you were sharing that, when someone yawns, how you yawn? As you were talking about yawning, I was like, I could fucking yawn right now. Like I could do it.
Go for a yawn.
I thought about it, but then I was like, no, don't break the flow.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Really, though, I actually really don't take offense to yawning. I don't know if it's more like because maybe subconsciously I knew it was a relaxed state, but I've never been one to take offense to that. I do think it's funny that we have it like our mirror neurons. Like our mirror neurons get fired up by seeing someone yawn. It makes us yawn too. So before you know it, we'll just be yawning together in succession.
It might happen. Stay tuned.
But you got to watch the video version. You'll never know otherwise. Okay. This is wild. We're going off the rails. Okay, let's do it.
The rails have been brought off the ship. Nope. Nope.
Something like that. One of those versions there.
Oh, God.
Okay, fabulous.
This is my night. I'll tell you what.
This is fucking questionable.
MF night.
This is fucking questionable. Well, the good news is, you'll get a break. You're going to get a break ahead. So next week, listeners, there may either be an episode without Dr. Ray, which will be very sad. But also, if there is an episode at all, that's a gift, maybe. And otherwise, we might take a week off, and then we'll see you in 2. Or there'll be a guest with us here next week. So stay tuned to find out. And then for now, for our awards, if you have been here before, you know this to be true, but our 8 awards all have the word test somewhere in their title because this is reality test after all. So you'll notice that we are emphasizing the word test within the titles or labels of our awards. With that in mind, before we get started, the shows I'm going to be referring to, I actually sort of took a page out of your book, Dr. Ray, and only talked about 2 shows. So 2 shows here are the real, not like only, I stuck to 2 shows that were bigger in my mind. One was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and the other is Love is Blind.
Yay! I'm excited. Wow, this might be the first time I have more shows than you.
I know, excited, tell me.
I have 3. I have Golden Bachelor. I have Love Island Games and Love is Blind. Those are my 3.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm so excited you started Love is Blind. Good. Oh, good. So then I can talk about people and you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm excited.
Yes. My goal is to catch up. So if you want, we can, and listeners, tell us what you think, but we can kind of cover that when we get back from our little break.
That sounds great. I love it. There's a lot of richness there in terms of relational terms.
Woof.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So, I know. Tell me what you have for your first award, which is called Protest This Mess. So this is a mess you're protesting because it's the meanest, saddest, drunkest, or most obnoxious moment or castmate.
So I'm going to go over to Love Island Games and oh my gosh, Andreina, I believe is how you say her name. I think
it's like Andreina.
Thank you. Yes, Andreina. This lovely, wonderful human being was first with, oh my gosh, what is his name? Tyree?
Yeah, I think it's Tyree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he kind of ditched her, and it's sad. It feels like a lot of these men are kind of like fetishizing her for her looks because she is gorgeous. And then because she wasn't like the top competitor, ditched her. Then Johnny, this other guy, swoops in at just the right time. Apparently they have a history and they've kind of like hooked up before the show. And so he couples up with her and is like, I'm your Prince Charming, blah, blah, blah. And then he clearly makes up his mind that he doesn't want to be with her anymore, maybe because he feels like she's not trying hard enough. But I feel like that's just a front. And what actually is going on for him is he's decided he doesn't like her and he's more concerned about winning the game. So he gives her feedback about this. It's a bit of a central relational paradox for her because she's heard this before. And so she gets scared, but she's also like, I'm going to try. And then he fucking dumps her. It like at the like there was an opportunity for him to pick someone else, and he went for it and totally ditched her. And I just thought it was so mean and so cruel. And I didn't like it. And I don't think she deserved it. And she deserves someone really great. And, you know, I'm sorry that she's had some bad experiences with men and has felt the need because of that to protect her heart and put walls up. So it just sucks.
Totally. Yeah, Johnny's a dick, dude. He's been on other seasons, and he was also on The Challenge, too. And he, like, came into The Challenge with a ride or die one season that, like, clearly was really into him. The woman was really into him. And then he hooked up with someone else the first night. Before there was, like, even really a show started. He was, like, hooking up with... Oh, no, it was even before that, because they, like, hooked up on the bus or something on the way in. It's just, like, a whole ass thing. He's really self-centered, frankly. He really just cares about himself. And... potentially getting laid as a part of that.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm like your Prince Charles. Like, he loved that he was, like, rescuing her. And then once he... And they were, like, clearly, like, engaging. I don't know what they were doing, but they were clearly, like, having fun together. And then when he felt like she no longer served his purpose, he just ditched her. It was awful. Ugh. I hated it. Ugh.
Come on, Johnny, get better. It's a bummer that he can watch himself back on these shows and see people have these opinions of him and really not change basically anything about it. So I guess he's sort of like in his own playbook. You know, he's really just interested in his own views of himself and time he gets to spend on TV and with women. Yeah, if you clocked, like, Andreina when she first came on the show was like, yeah, there were like 4 people that came into my DMs, like Johnny, Tyree, someone else who came right in right away too, who's like white. He was shorter. I forget his name, but he came in pretty quickly. Chris, you know. By the way, I also I'm not up to date with that one. That Love Island Games is one I'm behind on. So this is kind of fun because you'll cover some things that were before, they're after I was done watching, and I'll cover some things from Love is Blind that might be after you, without spoiling anything. But yeah, and by the way, you can't spoil anything about Love Island Games. I'll enjoy it or not to somebody, you know.
Perfect. And I haven't watched till the end, so I don't even know the ending. So
okay. It's over. Love Island Games is out all the way.
I guess so. It's done.
Okay, all right. Some show to catch up with there. Yeah, so she named like 4 people, and they were all on the show. So I don't know if they all knew. Like, now that I know Johnny came on, I didn't even know he did. But now that I know he did, it means it must be that she knew they were all coming too, or something. Or because it makes you wonder, like, are these people? When you think about the type of people that get cast for these shows, oftentimes it's because the producers know there's going to be a drama there. Like, they know, like, they're going to be more likely to bring this person on because they slept with so-and-so, and then because she has a triangle, they're more likely to bring the third person on. Like, she was already going to hook up with Tyree right away when the show started, and then the other short white dude came on right away during that first couple episodes, probably to create drama there. It didn't, because he didn't give a fuck, and she didn't really care either. But then Johnny coming on, right, at just the right time. So I feel like I could even see from Johnny's perspective, who's sort of a has-been, he's sort of come and gone already, him being like, if I reach out to Andreina, maybe I'll be more likely to get on the show if I'm, like, involved in some way, so.
And he was. Damn. Damn. Don't like it.
Yep. Same. Okay, I protest that with you. I'm all about that.
Thank you,
Yeah, right? This is in solidarity. My protest to this mess is from Love is Blind. And this is like a little bit of an off of the screen item because you know Mike. So you know Sparkle Megan.
Yes.
And she's in a love triangle between Mike and Jordan. Do you know that? The guy with the tattoo sleeves.
Yes,
and then
yes, I have seen that thus far.
Okay, fabulous. So I actually, within that love triangle, was kind of rooting for Mike, if I'm completely honest. I was sort of thinking, like, I think that's not the reason I say that is because I don't think that was a popular root for, if you will. But the way that she is, I can see maybe that Jordan's type of humor, like, really long-term wouldn't actually, like, serve her well. I just think she's sort of serious. Like, she takes herself seriously a little bit. And I think the goofiness is a little low, if you will. So I think Mike's that kind of person, too. He's, like, a little bit low on the goofiness. But then, you know, I have other things in my mind also about Mike as the show goes on that don't need to be brought up here. But one thing I found out off screen, which is the point that I'm actually protesting, is that it turns out that Mike famously now, everybody knows, that he's been like robbing people essentially in their area by basically, so he's like in the Airbnb game kind of. And so they said like there's like tens of thousands of dollars that he's stolen. He just like ghosts people and stops responding to them and like blocks their lawyers, blocks them and stuff so that they never get their money back and shit like that.
Holy shit.
So he's like not good in terms of the like, white collar thievery goes. So for that, I protest that thievery and also the way in which he's like super sure of himself, which is the part that like quality wise is not the most appealing. So
why would he go on national television if he's been like scamming people? That's pretty poor judgment.
Truly.
Like, that is messy.
Right. And now people are like, and we know you have money from that, so we're extra coming for you.
Good on him. I command that endeavor.
Yes, wow. I commend it as well. Go after it. Go get that money from him because he apparently, like there was one like tweet or Instagram that someone said where they were like, when he got back from the show, he should have been using the money he gets from the appearance fee, I guess it's called. Like he should have used his appearance fee to pay back his partners who had been keeping his business afloat while he was gone instead of going on another vacation.
Wow. Unreal. If I had like seen him and I was like, oh my God, that's the man on Airbnb who like fucked me over. Like why would he think that this was a good move?
No, I would be right in his DMs. Where are you in Love is Blind, by the way?
I was just watching the episode where, oh gosh, what's the Asian man's name?
Yeah.
Patrick was just talking to this white woman, and it seems like they're starting to vibe. His other connection Casey had left. Yeah.
Oh, Anna.
And that was sad.
Anna.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is where I am.
Great.
Maybe episode 3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Nice. So then you heard that like Anna, no, you didn't necessarily hear, but it came out outside of the show again. That Anna was sort of saying she didn't think that there was anybody she long-term could see it with, and that's why she left.
That makes sense. And she had 2 people who really liked her. Wow.
I know, which is kind of a bummer. And then one of the 2 people who liked her, Blake. Did you see what happened with Blake?
I don't think so. Maybe
okay, good. Yep. No, that's good. I'll leave it there. I will leave it there. It's not a huge spoiler at all, but just rather not if you haven't. So no need. There's just no need to.
Intrigue.
Yeah. Right? Keep it watching. Yeah, that's really what it is. Cliffhanger so that you'll keep watching it.
Indeed. Well, my dear Dr. Kay, who do you think is doing the mostest? So what was the most cringe or embarrassing thing that you've seen recently that is worthy of award?
Okay. So my doing the most test was 2 dudes at the Love is Blind honeymoon-ish period. So to anybody who hasn't seen this show, they meet each other across a wall. They don't get to know what each other looks like. They have to get engaged before they ever see what the other person looks like. Then they go on a vacation with this person they got engaged to really see if they can match the emotional bond that they made across a wall without seeing each other with the physical sense and having sex and so forth. So once they're in the vacation portion of the show, they're also there with every other couple that has made it to that portion. And so they start out mostly just the 2 of them, but then they'll have these events with everyone else who made it to the vacation portion. So there was at this point, they're all seeing each other again at a bar, not just with their couple, but with the whole group and all the people that went on the vacation portion. So the men, this happened like more than just these 2, but these 2 in particular at the bar were just like completely self-engrossed, like completely just like having fun with each other, almost flirting with each other, sort of like very focused on laughing and having fun and basically ignoring completely the women they were there with. It was brutal. Hard to watch. It was sort of like, what are you guys doing? Like, how do you not see what's going on? And then on top of that, I also felt like this thing came up that you and I've talked about in a different context before, where there was at least one of them, but both of them really were doing this thing where they were making these jokes. They're like not jokes. Like they're not funny. It's like the way that, it just almost came back to me where I was just thinking that we had just seen this recently. Oh, it was Love Island. We saw this with Taylor on Love Island, where the jokes were sort of like, I don't like you. We're not friends. Like, it's like, ugh, not funny. That's just not funny. And like one of them said it to their girlfriend. Was like, we're not friends. Like, it's like, gross. Don't like it. Goodbye.
No, doesn't work.
Yeah. So it just was very much like, it was very cringy. Just like, can't do it. Can't do the cringing about that.
I love the cringy parties like that. They are entertaining. I'm sorry for all parties involved, but as a watcher, it is appointment television for sure.
Yeah. And I'm not sorry for the dudes involved because they are hopefully learning from watching it because that's what needs to happen. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So whom or what moment did you find to be most cringe or embarrassing? Protest.
Okay.
I mean, no, not protest, that you found the most test.
So Edmund and Calibria, I think, here's what I think. I think they seem to really like each other. Something about the fact that she works with like CPS kids and he was a CPS kid kind of freaked me out in the way they were initially connected, where she was very like motherly. And it's just something about connecting with the type of person who is the type of person that you work with, like as a client in a power down position. Like it made me cringe a little bit as I was watching them kind of connect. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something about that maybe as a therapist that made me feel just a little funny.
Yeah. It's like it's already a power dynamic. Like you're saying, it's already puts in a power dynamic in play. Yeah.
And feels like it's a little fetishizing his experience. I don't know, but maybe they'll be fine with it and it'll all go great. But
or him fetishizing her too, like fetishizing her as a savior.
Yeah, it's kind of both ways. But who knows? Maybe they will meet each other's needs and it will work out well. But just kind of initially watching their dynamic, I was like, I'm not so sure. Kind of making me uncomfortable. But.
Yeah. No, I'm with that entirely. Yeah, I was worried about that too. I think there is something very like caretaking about it, obviously, right away. And then for him, it's like proving that he is better now or like proving that he's lovable because obviously he felt, I'm sure, feeling rejected over and over again as a child in the foster care system. To then have somebody come through and sort of ideally see you as different than that or like to see you as lovable suddenly. Like this is from a warped perspective, not true. To see you as suddenly lovable, then would become very exciting and something that you would then want to show yourself over and over again. Like you'd want that person to keep telling you how great you are and to keep telling you. It's going to become a need for it, right? It's going to have to stay there always. That she would be telling him he's lovable and special and different. So that is extremely sad, and I think he might need that in any romantic relationship, of course. But I think something about it being a reminder of the people in that system that he wanted to save him. Makes it even more important and sad. Really good one. That is really sad.
Yeah, it just gave me a bit of the cringe, but it also might, again, they might work it out and figure out their dynamic. Yeah. I'll be curious to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, me too. Good one. Okay, yeah, their dynamic is really good. Yeah, it's the other reason that would be cringe for us too, in particular, is thinking about that with us. Like our field, for anybody who doesn't know, the social work field, for example, you can't ever date someone who was a prior client ever. But in our field, for some fucking weird ass reason, you can date someone who was a therapy client 7 years later. Why? Why is that?
No. Let's not do that.
Yeah. And I think there's also another one too. I think we're allowed to become friends with them after 3 years or something and then date after 7. I don't know. It's so inappropriate. To me, it's like just never ever would that be appropriate. No matter what, there's a power dynamic. I feel the same way about teaching somebody. If I taught you, then we're already in a power dynamic that just never will go away. Like there's just no way to like heal that. So
absolutely. Nope. Yeah. It just is too complicated. And I do not know why our field's ethics code is not more strict. So to any therapy clients out there, be aware that there is that ethics code. And if you're noticing it getting blurred, then, something to think about.
Yeah. Or talk to the ethics board about, or like, yeah, right. I mean, right. Yeah. Just know that you have rights, basically.
Absolutely.
Ugh, scary.
Ugh, indeed.
Okay. The next one is, you know what? Siri just spoke to me. She heard me say something. I don't know what it was, but she goes, Okay. So the next one is testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3 is when you are talking about either best production ad or the worst production ad, or maybe you're saying it's like the best or worst producer antic.
I was glad they brought back Sid and Isaiah as as people who were a couple. I don't quite understand them as people. I don't know anyone like Sid or Zay, and they like intrigued me at the time, and they intrigued me now. I'm like, I don't understand your energy. It's not an energy that I've been around a lot in my life, and I don't know. They're like both very calm and cool, yet like especially Zay is quite cool. Sid's maybe a little more neurotic, but they're both just really interesting people to me. And I'm glad to see them on my screen again because I just find them both intriguing humans for some reason. I don't even mean like
Love Island games.
Yeah. I'm not like Zay for like, he's not even that good looking, but he seems to always win over women. And I'm like, what is it about you that like wins people over? It's just, I don't know. The two of them are interesting to me. So I'm glad they're back on my screen. Thanks for doing that, producers.
Yay. Good.
Yeah.
Positive. Productive move.
But what about
mine's like a negative one. It's from Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Ooh.
No spoilers even really relevant because this is from the first episode back from the season. I will just say there was a Blair Witch Project reference.
Oh.
Yeah. And like I'm a big like horror movie girly. Like I love horror movies. I like, thrillers and psychological blah, blah, blah. Actually, by the way, it's totally a fucking hard ass pivot right now, but there's a show I'm watching on Prime, which, Amazon Prime is not my favorite streaming. Jesus, I started a sentence and then I walked away during it. And by the way, Amazon Prime is not my favorite streaming provider, but on Prime, I'm watching this show called The Devil's Hour, which also, as I'm saying that out loud, sounds ridiculous, but it's actually really fucking good. And it is a psychological thriller. If you like psych thrillers, I definitely recommend it. And it actually plays with this idea of deja vu, and that deja vu is actually like a remembering of the future, which is like, ooh, it's
Don't
cool.
like it.
I know, it's cool.
Wow.
It's spooky and cool. So definitely highly recommend. But also, all that to say, I like psych thrillers. I like scary movies. I like scary stuff. Blair Witch Project was fine, but it was like important for its time and whatever. Do I want that in my reality TV show? No. This is not the right setting for that. It made it weird. I was sort of like, you don't need to do that. You're doing too much. I don't need it. Nah.
Do less, do fewer. I know they were playing with like genre a little on the last season, but it is a bit much at times, I think.
Just so unnecessary. Yeah, it wasn't like well done particularly. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem.
Not good. I'm excited to see it, but it does not sound particularly compelling.
Wasn't the highlight? Yeah.
No. Well, what about your testing results? Holding castmates accountable, reading their results. Who do you think has shown like the most or least growth?
I'm going to give that to Mary Cosby from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And this is specific to the context of her and her care for, her loving of, her mothering of Robert Jr. Because she has a very important moment where she recognizes that she was a helicopter parent. She even uses that phrase, and that he therefore was trying to impress her and wouldn't tell her the truth because he wanted to impress her. And so that now she's learned that, she's been trying to back off and show him that she trusts him. I was like, what? This is amazing. Like, you like completely understand the task here. I was so impressed with her maturity and the way she said it, like her knowledge, her psychological mindedness around it. And it was very much the messaging that I had put in my like little info video about it a while ago, because I like jumped off the page in terms of the fact that like really clearly she was like helicopter parenting, but then also inconsistently so. Like other ways she was very much giving him too much freedom. He like didn't have, any accountability. And so I think it was a recipe for disaster. I mean, she would say things, for example, like during those scenes where we were learning about his substance use, she was saying things like, well, my happiness, she was saying to him while she's learning about his substance abuse, saying to his face, like, my happiness is because of you. Like, I wouldn't be happy if it weren't for you. I was like, oh no, like that's way too much pressure on him, and that's part of the problem, and so I don't know if she saw a therapist who saw that clip and would be able to tell her that, but it seems like that's exactly the thing that she's starting to work on, which I'm just like so impressed by. I'm so happy for her. So I felt like she just really showed a lot of growth there, and it's great for both of them.
Good for her for being able to kind of look at herself in that way. That's not easy. So good. So good. So how about you? What are your test results saying? Who's most or least grown? We talked about this last week, but frickin' Mel, like he likes younger women. I don't know. It's just obvious. It's a punchline, I think, at this point. Like he clearly has not truly reflected on what he did. And maybe if he did, he would be like, you know what? I got to take the L on this one. I like younger women, even though this show is kind of a game, like someone who actually likes older women should at least have a chance to maybe fall in love. And he took that away from someone. And it's a shame because people genuinely love this show. And it's become kind of a cultural touchstone and something that people really enjoy. So it's like, why are you like devaluing the premise? It really, I think, is soiling the premise to be like, yeah, we're like supporting love at an older age. And this man's like, oh, yeah, I like 45-year-olds or whatever. It's just like, get someone else. And he's not genuinely worked on it. And you know what? If you're going to have someone like that, at least get someone who's a good actor so that they can keep up the premise of the show and make people feel good, because that's not what this is.
Exactly. No, so true. Well, fucking put. Snaps.
Oh, thanks. Oh, but
no, that's so true. It's such a bummer. I really think there's just so much more that could have been done with that role for number 2, second Bachelor. And like, who was saying it? You know, Pascal has been on a podcast recently and just like let rip. Like, he was like, I don't think he's good at this. He should not be there. He's ageist. This is a fucking problem. He's like, Jordan would have been better. Like, so-and-so would have been better. Da, da, da. I'm like, I agree. Like, what are we doing? That was kind of great.
I think Pascal's a little ageist, but you know,
I know. It was funny coming from him.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's growing, which cool.
Exactly. I love it. So our next one is my favorite. It's called TESTosterboned Award. Woo! This is our most patriarchal, white supremacist, misogynist, etc., heterosexist award, and it's where somebody has boned themselves with their testosterone going wild. To whom or what moment would you give the TESTosterboned Award?
Okay, so a lot of the men on Love is Blind we've talked about this before. Like, I think we've noticed it on Love Island this summer. Like, why are men more sexist again? And like, it just seemed like there were multiple men, Nick being one of them, I think. Yeah, Nick, I wrote down.
Yes.
Why are they so into gender roles? Like, I just really like gender roles. And when Shiny Megan or whatever her name is, I forget now.
Yeah, Sparkle Meg.
Sparkle Meg was like, I just really like gender roles. That one guy's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. And I'm like, are we back in like gender role world where like that's it just is, it feels like a weird throwback that I'm not here for. And I don't know what's going on and I don't like it.
Nor I. And that one, the one whose eyes lit up was Mike, the one who turns out was robbing people blindly, blind because his love is blind, but robbing people senselessly. And then she, it was so bizarre. She was like, I don't know. She's like, I know it's gender roles, but like, I'm okay. Like, I don't mind being the one to cook dinner and da-da-da. But she's also the one who makes all the money. So she's also the breadwinner. So she's also already counter to that, which is confusing. But yeah, I agree. It's sort of weird that's become like a new cool thing.
I don't like it. I want it to stop, but it's not my choice, I guess.
Right. Can the cool thing be just an absence of gender roles? Everybody does what they want to do to contribute to the relationship. Somebody's got to do each thing. Someone's got to do the dishes, da-da-da. But the assumption about whom we're going to decide does it shouldn't be based on gender.
No. But who is your testosterone for this week?
So, interestingly, because you brought up Calabria and Edmund, mine is also Calabria and Edmund for Edmund because of a conversation they have that is real messy. And I would say a little bit of a microcosm of what you're talking about, where he's definitely like childlike when he gets upset. He definitely like regresses quite a bit. I was like, wouldn't have been surprised if he started sort of like kind of hitting himself. Like, you know how that's sort of like like the hitting himself in the head just with frustration. Just it was like very child tantrum adjacent. And he was saying things like, so one of the things to know is that she wants to wait to have sex until they get married if they were to end up together. Do you know they end up together? Shit, I forget if you know that already.
I think. Oh yeah, they got engaged. They just got engaged.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought they might have just because you said that you hope that it goes well with them. I was like, shit, I think you know that at least. Okay, good.
Yes.
So she wants to wait to have sex until they get married. He is telling her he's fine with that, but then on the flip, he's really not fine with it. He said to the men he doesn't like it, and then he says to her like, I give you my all, KB. I've given you my all. How come you won't have sex with me? Like, what's the problem there? And she says, like, to me, it means that matters more. Like, it matters more to me that we not have sex because you matter to me. Whereas, like, I've had one night stands, but, like, this is different. So then he gets upset that she's had one night stands. And his way of understanding that is, like, people who have given you nothing get to have, he goes, get to have you. And then he goes, and then he's like, but I give you my all and I can't. Like, I don't get that. So he, like, flips the whole rationale behind that around and doesn't seem to understand why that's like the exact opposite of what she's saying. And then she says, she's sort of like, I don't want, you know, she seems very calm, but I don't think she fully understands what he's saying either, because it is a little confusing, but also it's almost like it's like, I think she's kind of creating meaning where there isn't any. Like, to him, it's like pretty dry and cut and dry, where it's like he thinks he deserves to have sex with you because he's put in work to get there with you, and to him, you not having sex with him shows him that you don't love him. Whereas for her, she's like, me having sex with you is giving up the power that, first of all, for her, it's like, I want to be able to, it's like giving up power. But then it's also like a way of saying, like, we don't matter as much as if it were that we'd wait and decide to do that together. I also think we've had a history in Love is Blind of black men in particular saying no at the altar. So I also understand the part of sort of like, let's, you know, like add this element in. It might change that, which it might. So that's the part about like giving up my power part where like maybe that's relevant data here. And so then he also says things like, everyone says I'm so nice, I'm too nice. He's like, you're saying I'm too nice. She's like, I didn't say that. He's like, well, it's not that you're saying that. So like, but he goes into that sort of rant in his head where he's like, everyone says I'm too nice. And it's like he dissociated, you know, he's like, because suddenly he's like, I'm too nice. You're saying I'm too nice. She's like, I'm not saying that. You know, it's like, so he went to this other place for a minute. So he goes into this other place and that's sort of happening. It's like a weird sort of moment. And then all of a sudden he goes, I'm just still stuck on the fact that you're having one night stands. And I just was like, no. I was like, no. So, like, you know, it was like both that alone is like, ugh, I hate it. Sex shaming is gross in general. But then on top of that, it felt such like a redirect. Like he recognized in that moment, like, you just caught me in me saying that you say I'm too nice when you didn't say that to me. So now I'm going to make it about you and the fact that you have one night stands. And like, that's the real problem. Oh, man. I was just not here for it at all. And then she got kind of upset. Like that was when she got activated, which I don't blame her for getting activated, but in my head, it was just like, this is a great time to be like, you are blaming me for you getting caught and finding out something, you know, and saying something that is not true. Like, but she didn't. She did get pulled. That hooked her, you know, which is what he intended to do. So that changed the whole thing. I just was like, oh no, I don't like this at all. It's such, ugh. So definite testosterone.
I don't like it either. Not a fan. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. It's a really, I want to say textbook, but it's not really quite the right word. But it's just like such a, you know, you can almost guess where it's going as it starts, and it is an interesting conversation. So, yeah.
Men are so weird about sex, and then it's also I understand why women withhold sex totally, like because some men withdraw after they get the cookie or whatever the fuck, and it's so complicated. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think her point too was like, I don't want it to be about that. Like, I'm good enough at sex. I know you'll probably want to stick it out just because you think I'm good at sex. I don't want it to be because of that. Like, I want it to be because we love each other. And then to boot, like, his is so counter, because on the one hand, he's like, I can't believe you would want to wait to have sex. But on the other hand, he thinks it's unfair she's ever had sex with anyone else, which is like based on an archaic view of women as having to only have sex with their husband. Like, you think she should have just been waiting around to have sex until she got married, like, period, in general, but yet the fact she's waiting with you isn't okay? Like, it doesn't...
It's just too much. Ugh.
Yeah, you are trying to benefit from a system you're telling her you don't like.
Double bind. Never a good thing.
No. How about you?
That sucks.
It does.
Oh, I think I did mine. Gender roles on Love is Blind. So I think we're on our Bechdel test. So this is the most feminist, anti-racist, or gay, etc. moment in order to kind of cleanse us from all that testosterboned, that energy.
Fabulous. Yes, my Bechdel test went to Heather, actually, from Salt Lake City. Okay. I think she's right, surprisingly enough. Okay, she is somebody who's actually, like, quite relationally attuned in a weird way. Like, she picks up on, like, a lot of nuance in what people say that I actually find very refreshing. And one of the things I don't like is her draw to please Lisa, because Everyone feels that draw somehow at some point, and I don't get it. But she is still in that place at the beginning of the season. She's trying to, be friends with Lisa. But then what I give her the Bechdel test award for is because even while she's sitting there with Lisa spinning out about Lisa's stuff, Heather still tries to hold her accountable for shit. So, like, Lisa makes a comment about, like, well, my life is just so different from all of yours, which is, like, her, like, usual go-to of sort of elitism. And Heather says, like, it's that right there. That comment right there is why people have a hard time with you. So, like, even though she's, like, dying to please and impress Lisa, she can still have those moments where she's like, hey, like, that's the thing. And then in another moment, Heather's telling Lisa, like, here's all the shit that was said about you. And Lisa says, like, okay, well, if everyone's going to dissect my life, let's dissect everybody else's. Like, if you're going to talk about mine, that opens the door for me to talk about yours. And Heather says, like, I think you can clear this up. Like, so she's saying, like, I hear you saying that, like, what you want to do is retaliate, but, like, just clear up what they're saying about you. Don't make it about dissecting their lives. Like, and then Lisa says more like that. And Heather is still like, I think you can clear it up. Like, she just stays on the, like, stay here where this is, clear it up, don't retaliate. So, again, I sort of felt like Heather was trying to, like, help, do better. I don't think it works, but we'll find out. Yeah.
You go, Heather. I'm here for it.
Exactly.
I'm excited to watch them this season. I got to get back
It's good so far. Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay, so how about you for this one?
So I really liked, Nicola was this woman from, maybe the Netherlands on Love Island Games. She's so cute. I really liked her. I think she's a really sweet person. Isaiah didn't like her, and she was struggling to, like, find a connection. And the women were just building her up, and they were like, you're a bad bitch. You're awesome. Like stand in your power. And I think she really took to that sort of, like, supportive environment and continued to believe in herself. And I thought that was lovely. So even though there's, like, the show's a competition, either show, but even though there's more of, like, a competition element, they're still like, no, you're here for love, even though maybe not everyone is. Like, you can do this. You can find someone. Keep trying. I love when the women do that on the show. I think that's huge. And it really seemed to, Nicola seems to have, like, a really, like, lovely spirit. And I think that's what she needed to, like, keep going. So it was fun to watch. Yeah,
I love her. Yeah, Nicola's fantastic. I loved the introduction of the Netherlandish folks. Very happy.
Yeah, they were both. The dude was very attractive too.
Yeah,
they both seem lovely. And maybe we got to watch Love Island Netherlands. I don't know.
I know. I was like, wow, okay, shit, that's some fun stuff. I like them. I like Merc, but then also the black woman too. I forget her name, but she's gorgeous.
Garby, I think. Yeah.
Garby, yes. Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, stunning. Oh, fantastic. Love that. Good Bechdel test. We have some good women supporting women moments, and I love it. So this next one, speaking of women supporting women, because it could also be the opposite, is the worst test of friends. They were the best test of friends. So the most or the best or the worst relationship or friendship moments.
So Kendall to Garby, actually.
Oh, no.
You're right in my mind. So speaking of Garby, what's her name? The British woman who was dating the Netherlands guy. What is her name? She's blonde.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like, I learned her from this show. Like Isabel, is it Isa? I don't know.
I totally forget her name.
Let's look it up. Fuck it. Let's look it up right now. Love Island Games, British girl. Aurelia? No, because it's a different season. Okay, so what's the season number? Do you know? It's 2. It's season 2?
It's 2.
Okay. Lucinda?
Lucinda, yes. So Lucinda and Kendall are friends because apparently Kendall is friends with everyone because we know he's kind of a social climber. And it was kind of funny. Like Ariana called him out at one point because she's like, man, Kendall, you're friends with everyone. And he just kind of shrugged. But I think it was also her way of saying like, because I think they allude to that on the other show, the After the Villa, that he's just such a social climber. But Lucinda was mad at Garby because I think she like maybe spit too much. You know the weird regurgitation challenges? That I hate that shit. Ugh. But I guess Garby maybe spit a little too much something in Lucinda's something. I think I was washing the dishes or something while that was happening, so I kind of missed it. But Lucinda thought it was like really intentional and like a personal affront to her. And Garby said to Kendall, because Lucinda talked to Kendall about it and was like, I just don't know. I don't know that I would date someone like that, blah, blah, blah. And Kendall then questioned his feelings for Garby and like was like, why would you do that? And she was like, genuinely, like heat of the moment, I don't have like this big reason. Like I was playing the game. Like I wasn't trying to hurt Lucinda. Like I didn't have any bad intention. Like it's a game. Like they're playing a game. Right. And he was so quick to like kind of turn on her, and it dragged out for a while. And then they tried to have a few like repair conversations and he just wasn't quite getting it. I was just like, be loyal to this person who has really like carried you in this game, and like don't immediately assume the worst. You were there playing the game with her. Like it's not like she's out to get Lucinda. Why would she be? It was just I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It's so bogus.
Yeah.
No, it's like, oh, white girl said this thing about this woman of color. It's like my instincts go with this white girl who's telling me this thing about her. Like that's how, I'm not saying he's racist at all, but I just feel like the way that feels is just so icky. I don't like it.
Yeah. I think he's a deep people pleaser. I think that's kind of his MO, and I don't know.
But then, like, why not please the person you're fucking with? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's such a bummer.
It sucks. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, good example. That's a real bummer for sure. Also, yeah, by the way, we're all racist, so I don't mean to say he's not racist, because we are all racist. But I'm just saying, not that it had racist intentions, but there's like an implicit piece that it's hard not to think about when there's that piece where it's like, that's someone you actually owe something to, is the person you're with, not Lucinda, you know.
Give her the benefit of the doubt. Lucinda was heated because she probably got spit on, and she should have taken a moment too. I think she certainly, or talked to Garby maybe before she talked to Kendall. That might have helped things. To get a sense of her intention. But.
So Garby could have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not at all what I meant to do. Like, wow, thank you so much for telling me. Look completely different. It'd be hard to deny that when she has a reaction like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good one. My worst test of friends is also a worst test instead of best test of friends, which is between Bronwyn and Heather, which like they historically, you may recall, have had their own little ups and downs in their friendship and so forth. Yeah. But in this case, we're just realizing in general that Bronwyn, I like Bronwyn. I'm actually a big Bronwyn fan. I like a lot of what she says direct to camera in particular. I think she's good at direct to camera. Like that's what I think she's like particularly good at. What I think she's not particularly good at is understanding why some of the things she says are elitist, and that she puts herself above other people. She has a really hard time like building someone up to have been better than she was in a dynamic. So they're having this conversation. Heather says, I have my last daughter is leaving the house finally, and like I hate to say this because it makes me feel guilty, but in some ways I'm kind of glad for her to go. I've been looking forward to it because it helps me feel less reminded by how I failed as a mother, which like huge vulnerable wild thing to say, like in terms of her vulnerability. That was so big of her to share, not only with these women but on camera. And her point is just like, I think about how I failed with their dad, and so when they're there it reminds me that like all I'm worried about is like, can I not fuck them up? Like I try really hard not to fuck up my kids. And she, having been historically Mormon, like, right, like as a Mormon mother, was like trained that she has to be a perfect mother, perfect wife. And so having her kids there puts that pressure on her still, whether or not she still adheres to being Mormon. And so that's a huge deal. Okay, she said it makes sense that she feels that way. To me, it makes 100,000,000% sense. And then in response to that, Bronwyn goes, wow, I'm the opposite. Like, I'm like, how can I get my daughter to stay around? So I'm like getting her boyfriend to move in with her so that they stay in my house because I can't, I don't want to. And it just was like so tone deaf and like completely missed the point. And in that moment, okay, so say I make that mistake and I say something like that. So because what's awesome is because Heather's so good at relational attunement, like she in that moment immediately goes, Bronwyn, when you say that, it sounds like you're saying I'm a bad mother for not wanting my kid, for not wanting my daughter to stay home, which was the whole fucking point of what Heather was saying to begin with, was she already felt guilty about that. Hello, right? But Heather very calmly goes, it sounds like you're saying I'm a bad mother for da-da-da. And Bronwyn's response to that is worse. She's like, oh no, she's like, I'm saying like do whatever you want to do, like everyone should do what they want to do, it's fine, I just don't do that. Like it's like, what? Like you were making this so much effing worse. And then she also like in the same moment she's saying one excuse like actually lies and says a different thing. Like she just but every version of what she's saying is not at all what she meant, and on top of that like actually makes it worse. And so if I'm Bronwyn and I accidentally make the mistake of being like, oh wow, I'm the opposite, one thing she could have said, just like could have, even though I still don't think this is necessarily honest, she could have said, I feel guilty too, but because I feel like I'm not at a place to be able to let my kid go. Like, you know, it's like sort of like, I think actually in some ways you're more advanced than I am of being able to like launch your kids, you know? And so I think that's like one way she could have, even though it wouldn't have been true, recovered in some way and not been like a total fucking dick. But she couldn't even say that. She can't bring herself to put Heather above her in that moment, to like not have it be about her. She had to like look like the better parent, and then she like still couldn't fix it. So I just was like, wow, this is like such a clear moment where I don't think Bronwyn understands what she's doing when she says certain things in a dynamic like that. And then even after it's drawn attention to, she can't recover. She can't like see how she did that and then fix it, or like even just say like, wow, you're right, that actually is super tone deaf. I really should have thought that through. Like even if she didn't, you know, there's so many things she could have said that would have made it less offensive, but she also could have just apologized, and she didn't do that. And she just absolutely made it worse. So in a lot of ways, I think that Heather saying about Bronwyn, like, she just isn't, there are things that I see that I just can't get around. Like, those are the moments where I'm like, I agree, I understand why Heather feels that way. I don't think those are all the data points Heather is using. I think there's some other things where I'm sort of like, well, who cares? Like, whatever. But in other ways, I feel like I get it on Heather's part too, because that kind of a comment isn't going to sit well with me either.
And I feel too like Heather is throwing her a bone there by being like, let me be vulnerable with you. Even though I don't like you, let me try. And then for her to meet that comment with what she said, if I were Heather, I'd be like, okay, like, fine, cool.
Yeah, we're over it. So then when they have like a repair conversation later, they go have lunch and they have a repair conversation, and it starts like one of the first things Bronwyn says is like, well, for example, like, I want you to know that like, I think you misunderstood my intention there, which like already I was like, oh no, like, don't make it about Heather misunderstanding your intention. Like, that is already wrong. Like right from jump, the way you start that repair is to say, I said something that I wish I hadn't said, that like, I totally understand where you're coming from, and it does sound really bad, and like, she like right away, just from the way of starting that conversation, was already deep into the gutter in terms of like being able to help herself, deep into a hole. She was in the Dr. Ray hole, deep into the Dr. Ray hole of not being able to come out of it.
Help! We're stuck in the manhole. I don't want to be in the manhole with Bronwyn.
No, I don't want to be in that damn manhole. That person hole can go to hell. And it just really was like not good, already bad. She tried to repair it. Eventually, they got to a place where Heather was like, "Why couldn't you have said that in the moment?" And I just was like, because she didn't feel that way. And like also, but even then, when Bronwyn said what she did to recover, I still didn't think it was like a great recovery. I just think she still could have done better. And it ultimately all comes down to the fact that I do not think there's a bone in her body that would allow her to build someone up as better than she is in a dynamic.
That sucks. That is a bummer. Yeah. I hope she can work on that. Maybe she'll see this season back and be like, oh, I was being a total asshole.
And she does watch it back. Like, I can tell she's a watcher, which is good. And also, there were things from, like, the first season that I would think help her in this scenario. You know what I mean? Like, there were things that I would think if she was watching and thinking about it critically might help her learn from this very scenario right here. And it didn't really, but it still kind of maybe was progress. If you really dig down to the minutia, it was maybe progress from some of the earlier dynamics with Heather from previous seasons. Like, actually, Bronwyn straight up says, honestly, I think it was like the first episode right away, frankly, she says, like, I think I've changed more than Todd has. Like, oh, no. You know what it was? It was the other way around. Actually, you know what, Bronwyn? I will apologize to you in this very moment, because actually this is an example of you indeed being self-deprecating in a positive way. I think it was the opposite. I think she said Todd has changed even more than I have since New York, like, meaning since the reunion. And that was cute and self-deprecating. So good for her. In that one way, she has a little bit of a win. But it is still also about Todd, which it benefits her for us to see Todd as having changed.
Yeah. Yes. But something. A step in the right direction, I suppose.
So, how did you have... Well, no. I think
it's... I think it, yes. So what is your testimonial? So what is your best confessional or straight to camera moment? I will, in response to my own criticism of Bronwyn, whom I otherwise very much like, give her this bone of the very last item, because as I said, I do like her testimonials. And she lied during the reunion about her necklace in a very particular way that I think was very calculated, in the way that she was like, well, when I wear it, you'll see it, which is not a way of saying I actually bought the $4 million necklace. So she knew she was going to not tell the truth, that she didn't buy it, I think, ahead of time. So there's that. But I will say her recovery from it in her testimonial was great. It was great. She said straight to camera, she goes, I lied. I cared too much about trying to be cool. I put my need to be cool ahead of my
desire to be truthful and honest, and I am regretful of it. Like, she just like really nailed it. She like apologized. She understood what the problem was, and she said it straight to camera. She was vulnerable about it. I was like, oh, okay, there we are. That's how you recover from lying on a reunion. Props.
Good for you, Bronwyn. Good way to start off.
Yes, exactly.
Some growth.
We would never see Lisa do that ever. You know?
No, God, no. I lied. My husband and I actually did have a threesome. That would be the best cold open. I would love that for them.
Yes. Yeah, for me. I also would love it for me. I would love it for me and for them. I think we all win.
That would be like memed so hard. Like that would be the just be so. I just feel like the way she would do it would be so funny too.
Oh, it would be so good. It would be so good. Since y'all are obsessed with getting in my bedroom anyway. Let me tell you.
No notes. Hope for future seasons.
Goals.
Well, mine I just watched. So this was that Patrick guy is with that blonde woman whose name I'm forgetting again. I'm so sorry. And he seemed to Anne left the show.
Yeah, Anna leaves. Anna leaves, and I think he's with Casey, is the blonde. Yeah. Yes.
And he was in his testimonial booth, and he was like, we agree on pretty much everything. And the producers were like, what specifically? And he couldn't say. He was like, yeah, dude, I can't recall. It's been a long day. I'm tired. And I was like, it was just really funny. It happened right before I came in to record with you. So I was just laughing about that.
That was a winning moment.
Yes, it made me giggle. So, and he was worried about her wanting to stay on the show, but I think that's maybe what's happening for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hot kettle sort of situation. But it was,
I think
funny.
You're right.
It made me giggle.
Yeah, it was so good. He's like, yeah, good point. I don't know. He's like, I don't know. It's just been a long day. It's not that I actually have nothing in common with her. It's just that it's been a long day.
Yes. Even if it's been a long day, you could probably say like cats is an example. Like anything. Really anything.
Because the truth is that was him with Anna. Like he and Anna could not stop finding things in common because they were both Chinese American, and he was also Cambodian, Chinese Cambodian. She's Chinese American. They're both Chinese, at least in terms of half of their parenthood, their parents' nationalities. They're at least both half Chinese, at least, and so he can relate to that. And so that is the thing when they both were like, oh, like they were figuring out that each other had so much in common that they could figure out each other's ethnicity without saying their ethnicity. I felt like that is what he's referring to, actually. Because that was a very powerful moment. Yeah.
Oh. Well, we'll see what happens for him.
Yeah, yes, we will. I'm excited for you to watch more Love is Blind and tell me what you think.
Cannot wait.
Yes, and to all of you too. Please do enjoy your reality TV and sound off in the comments if you have things to say. We're always down to hear what you have to say about Love is Blind too. I'm always interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You'll also notice that our social media has changed to be all aligned, which is we are all at Reality Test Pod, at Reality Test Pod. That's for Facebook, YouTube, and also TikTok. Our Instagram is now at Reality Test Podcast. Basically the same, just add a cast at the end. You'll also find us, perhaps most importantly, at Patreon, www.patreon.com/realitytest. You can also go into our search bar and then search at the @ Reality Test, and you'll find it. It's $5 a month. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. You can also join for free. Be a free member of our Reality Test Patreon in order to get access to our audio episodes a night before. So you'll get it a good, 12 plus hours before you would otherwise get the audio podcast. So that's fun. That's free. Become a free member. You could also pay $5 a month to then be able to see the full video episodes. Otherwise, you'll see the excerpt versions on youtube.com/@realitytestpod. Pod. And last but not least, we're also on Gmail. You can email us if you're just poking around on email if you like emailing somebody. No, just kidding. No, I don't know. Maybe you have more of a purpose than that, but you're also welcome to email it just for fun, whatever. And that's at realitycheckpodding, PODDING.com, at gmail.com.
That one. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell all your friends. $5 a month can make a big difference in our ability to keep doing this thing we love. So, and thank you so much for listening. Yes.
Yeah, Sound Guy. And hi, friends that are here because you were told by somebody else. Glad to have you. Tell more of your friends. Proliferate. Let it proliferate. And with that in mind, we will see you all next session. Bye, friends.